Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Croak and the Crow and the podcast. I am Spencer Cartier.
And I am Karen.
Oh.
I'm trying to take the stereotype off of it.
Take the stereotype off. Okay, why not? I'll be Antifa. This here is Frank.
This is how we start.
He's having a leisure day. It's Leisure Tuesdays. He threw on the hoodie. But here we are. It has been a good day. The weather's been nice.
It's a camel day, isn't it?
Hump day, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, we're starting this podcast off. It's always these nice days that I don't have anything to work on the van. Like,
I know.
And then I'll get a shipment in, and it'll be 17 degrees out. And today it's like 45, which is, heaven sent in the Northeast United States in January. So it's always a little frustrating. I'm there just my hands on my hips saying, yeah, this would have been a nice day.
Yeah.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
But hey, that's our life.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas.
If onlys and justs were candies and nuts, then every day would be earned to donk fest.
Christmas is over. We're just flying through January, aren't we? January is just whizzing on by.
I think it's going at a regular pace.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
What, January 13th? I feel like New Year's was yesterday.
Yeah.
Some people aren't even considering it January 13th. They're saying it's December 43rd.
Oh, yeah.
Because we haven't really made it out of 2020 yet.
I knew that was going to happen.
In the grand scheme of things. But hey, we're still here and that's what matters. Today's podcast is sponsored by
air freshener.
Logitech, because I left the mouse in the frame on accident. Uh-oh. But what is the topic for the day?
The topic for the day is we're back to one word.
One word. Okay. We bounced some sentences.
We bounced around. Word. It doesn't matter.
I also didn't drink my protein sauce today, so
okay.
I will be sipping on screen.
Okay. So it's scent. Scent. Scent.
Scent. I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Scent.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I like
scent,
that.
Different than smell. Smell is a verb, right? But it
one of the senses is
I think
smell.
Scent is supposed to be pleasing, isn't it?
Mm-mm.
No?
He had a scent about him.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Sometimes it's not a true odor or aroma. It's how you just said he had a scent, or even when you're doing an investigation, you're like, we're following the scent. Like it's not a real smell. It's
what I imagine
it's an idea
is when you like picture someone smelly and you see the squiggly lines.
Yeah,
it's like those squiggly lines are the scent.
Like Pigpen of Charlie Brown.
Pigpen of Charlie Brown. My eye is really itchy. I don't mean to itch my eye on camera.
I noticed that.
Sorry, allergy. I haven't been taking my allergy pills.
No, I know. But how scent is relevant. Everything's relevant here at the lunch table, but how it's relevant spiritually, incense is used in it's funny. I think we're making an altar, or we're every podcast we're talking about what goes on an altar, because we
have bells and
we have the candles, which I don't think candles made it to air, but
there is a lost episode of Croak and Crow.
Yeah.
And it's because we didn't record the video, but maybe one day we'll release the tapes.
Yeah. And incense, or it could back to candles too, because there's scented candles.
All my scented are candles. As I say. All my candles are scented.
And candles are used on altars. But incense alone being used in Buddhist, and do Muslims use incense? Yeah, they must. I'm shaking the table.
I think everyone does.
Yeah.
I feel like incense you see in everywhere, up to the people who follow crystals and stuff. They love the incense.
And of course, in Catholicism, you have that wonderful incense shaker.
I think that's what the actual name of it.
Of frankincense and myrrh, and the holy smoke. Holy smoke. Hey, people say that, right?
Holy smokes. Look at the legs on her.
Yeah. Holy smokes. Because it's coming from
I got catcalled at Giant.
What?
Well, no, catcalled is a strong word. I got whistled at.
No, you're lying.
No.
Tell me, who does that in 2021?
That's what. Well, you know what? Everything's switching around. Everything's like spinning around in this world. And so I also have a problem with like the youths, like the teenage kids. They always just, I think they just sense like fear. They sense I have a scent of fear or like nervousness. And so I saw some kids. There were some like guys and girls just cruising around the Giant aisles. I'm just there getting my chicken and my rice to do my little meal prepping. And so, you know, it was a Friday night, and like, but they're all wearing their pajamas. I guess that's like, if I had to put an age on them, I'd say between 17 and 19.
Okay.
Like just kind of right at the end of high school or right out of high school. And so I walk out, and there's just 3 girls on the bench, and they're just wearing their pajamas with their legs kicked up.
They're cool.
Like, I'm like, the best way I could describe them is, you know, in England, there's like these like chav girls.
Oh, right.
And they wear like the jumpsuits, and it's like, what you doing around here? And
tracksuits,
bruv, hey, bruv.
Yeah.
But so they're like all sitting on the bench, like that's just facing the door, and I walk out, and so like I'm walking, like my head down, like don't look at me, like I'm ready to attack, and as I go by, I just hear
no,
and I felt objectified.
Oh,
I felt like a piece of meat, and
well, that'll teach you to be wearing sexy clothes.
Some
would
say
have a podcast about modesty.
Yeah, some would say I was asking for it by the way I dressed, and
no, you weren't.
And just take it, like, you know, it's like if I said anything, they probably would have said like, take it as a compliment, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Let me see you smile.
Did you really feel bad about it?
I feel kind of like.
Made you feel.
Like, I just kind of ran
alone.
I ran to my car and like just got in. And
because you were alone.
That's
you
the
were
thing.
With people.
Yeah, I didn't have a gang. I was solo dolo, as the kid said.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that thing on me.
That's okay.
But yeah, so gender stereotypes. Now
that's right.
Women aren't the only ones getting catcalled on the streets.
That's right.
Good thing I have my mask on. No one probably would have catcalled me without it. I feel like my looks go up with my mask.
That doesn't even make any sense.
It makes me look cool. I have really nice eyes, I like to tell myself. So when they're the only thing showing, I feel what it feels like to be a male model with half my face covered.
Have a nice everything.
Oh, that's why I'm getting catcalled. Okay, sorry, I went way off track.
That's okay.
Scents
are good. Scents are bad. And interestingly, in the Bible, God in the Old Testament anyway, he's really interested in sacrifices or offerings, burnt offerings.
Burnt offerings.
Thank you. And he like
smelled. It was the part of the smoke
so
would go
good, and
that pork smells so good.
And I have to agree. I'm a vegetarian, but I have to agree about sometimes that barbecue smell is just like divine.
It is, yeah. Intoxicating. People say it's intoxicating.
Would you ever get one of those candles? They have candles that smell like KFC or barbecue.
They had the KFC logs during the holiday season.
Oh my god!
And I if I had a fireplace, I totally would have gotten it.
And then there's a part in the Bible where God says it's like an insult to the man-made gods, and he said they can't even, and he names the senses, not touch, but he says they can't see, hear, taste, or smell. So he literally is saying like that smell is important.
Yeah.
And that, give him offerings. Actually, it's very important now that I think about it, because also in the Bible, the perfume business is like part of the church.
Yeah. Yeah. I think anything that deals directly, like I want a whole podcast on, I was thinking a lot about the senses and how it applies to spirituality. I think it does a lot. So I want to save a lot of that action-packed content.
I wonder if it's one of the things that there's physical things and there's heavenly things.
Yeah.
I wonder if the senses are keeping, because when you said like the senses, I thought, well, who cares about the senses? That's part of the human body, which is perishable, which is, but is there something heavenly about the senses that?
Yes. No, I think totally. That's why I don't know how much I want to delve into it because I've like a lot of thoughts I was having about the senses.
Okay.
And I think
like when you get counted so that you're
that's the census. No, but the senses and like the purpose and how I think a lot of it is what makes like it's a very spiritual thing and it teeters on the line, and that is why this is going to be just my little
prelude.
short prelude. The like all things that there's so many things that are told not to do in the Bible. A lot of which indulges the senses with earthly things, like and makes it very earthly.
Yeah.
And which it can happen, but then you fall in love with what is given the scent, that smell, that feeling, and so I think a lot of like, oh, don't do this, don't do that. It's not so much you'll go to hell. It's you'll get distracted with the earthly thing, but understand that the stimulation of the senses is coming from there,
right?
And instead of like this makes me feel so good, it's like no, your senses are like it's good feeling, good senses, and that's coming from the great beyond, as the kids say.
And the sense of smell is pretty much low on when you have to put them in a
if I had
a list of priority.
If you had to lose one, I think a lot of people would say I'll lose sense first or scent. I keep saying it's hard when
I know it is hard
and scent.
Your brother has an extremely decreased sense of smell. I don't know when it started. It could have been adenoid surgery, but I'm not sure. But I mean, what about the COVID patients who?
Yeah, I know people who had COVID and they still can't smell.
Ooh,
still can't smell.
Isn't it a strange?
When I heard that, I forget who I was talking to, but like I've been real careful about COVID. Yeah. But there's two things that made me really kick it into high gear, and it'll show where my priorities are. The first was my friend is in the medical field, and he was talking about like young nurses that he works with that are having heart problems now when they got COVID 6 months ago. And so I was like, long-term effects. But what really pushed me is when I was talking to someone, they said, I had COVID 4 months ago. I still don't really have scent or taste. Wow. And I'm like, losing taste? If I lost taste, that'd be worse than 1,000 deaths.
Yeah. Somebody on Instagram, their girlfriend has COVID and she can't taste right now. But she's like, make me cookies because
I can't taste right now. I'm doing hot girl-ish.
She wanted the cookies, and then she was using her memory of like what baking cookie smells like and tastes like, even though she couldn't. She was trying to use her memory to.
Yeah. When I was vegan for a little bit, I was vegan for Lent, and I would just smell things. I would open things up and just smell them.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's not exactly there, but
aromatherapy.
It was like, you just get a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of curb the craving in a way, or make it worse. A lot of times it was the other, but
and the other thing scents can do is give you memories. Like,
that's why I wanted to say.
She was trying to remember the cookie smell, but sometimes you smell the cookie smell and then you think it's something.
Yeah, or like smell the cookie. Yeah, sometimes you get a smell and you immediately are just
transported,
brought back to
good or bad
first grade, and it's like, what always happens to me with smell. It happens like every year is. I guess because you just get enough time away from it. Every time it's like a colder day coming into the winter, I smell, and then I just get a flashback of all these winter memories.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. It might be March and a warm day, and I just like I just sniff some of the air, and it's like I get a flashback of all the memories. And I think senses are so powerful.
They are,
and it's one of the things that we have that is like a blessing, and. It can open up so many experiences in spirituality, and I think which with each sense, there's too many words. It's not working well with my speech. With each sense individually, there is ways to turn it spiritual. So with sense, there would be you have candles, and that's why I said the reason why I have scented candles in the long forgotten candle episode was. It brings this aura around the room where I feel more comfortable. I feel more calm. And if it is a spiritual environment and you're doing prayer or something, if there is this, and then when you do smell that, you're brought back into that prayer mode.
Yeah,
it's that mind sense connection.
Right.
It's crazy.
It is. Any scents that you don't like? Like, I can't even.
Any scents that I can't even.
Like gingerbread, or I think gingerbread gives your brother a headache.
I'm not. I'm more of a picky eater than a picky smell. Like, I feel like I could be like a manure farmer.
Well, the very wonderful thing about us is, if you saw the Febreze commercials where you go nose blind.
Yeah, you go nose blind hard.
So
it's like my biggest, because I know how nose blind is, I always have this insecurity of like my car smelling or me smelling. And I'm like, I know I can't smell it, but that makes it worse. It's worse to know. And what I always think about is you walk into anyone's house and you know what that person's house smells like.
Right.
And it's like, what does my house smell like?
Yeah, I know.
It's always like frightening. And then I go light a bunch of candles. Mine.
And just think, our sense of smell in relation to like a dog's sense of smell.
Yeah.
Which is so amplified.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like when people say, oh, what would you rather do? Like fly or become invisible? Like they always say these things, but can you imagine if you could just be an animal, with a sense of smell for a little bit?
It'd be overwhelming,
I wonder.
Yeah.
And even bad scents are a blessing because why?
You just said it without having a reason why. I don't know if they're a blessing.
They're a blessing. I know why.
Okay.
Because when in nature, you know not to eat the things that smell bad, and you can find a dead body.
Why are you looking for one?
You're not looking for one, but if somebody tried to put me in the crawl space, my neighbor is going to call the police and be like, there's a terrible scent coming from that house. And therefore, they will arrest you.
I hear it's the worst.
Right.
Decomposing bodies, apparently. Few bad smells compare. Like I said, I could work in a manure factory. I don't think that people who have been in the jobs of dead body sniffing.
Yeah, in the Bible story of Lazarus, Lazarus is Jesus. Was his relative or just his friend?
I think it was Mary's sister.
So maybe it's his cousin?
I think it might have been his cousin. I could be completely wrong.
Well, it was his beloved compadre, and he finds out that he is dead. And in a puzzling part of the gospel, Jesus rises Lazarus from the dead, and you think, why are you bringing him back here when you know he went somewhere? And they also said Jesus was sad about it, and it's like, I guess it was just more the earthly Jesus, the human Jesus, who was feeling this pain. But anyway,
and also showed his power.
True.
It's like. It's I think it's good that he was sad. Like it's good and bad. No, it's good all around. I completely give a check mark to Lazarus because he brought him back. That was sort of like the final. This dude's the real deal, and he was sad about it. He's like he wasn't where he should have been.
Right.
But earthly emotions, yada yada. You get to sympathize.
Yeah, true.
You get to know his strength, but you also get to know that he
painted a huge picture.
Yeah, you also get to know that he was in a good place, and now he's back on Earth.
The reason I brought it up was because when he went to the house, Mary, everyone's named Mary in the book, so I want to say Mary, but I don't know who it was. Jesus said, I guess they had buried him.
Did they?
I think so, because he said...
Or I think he was just in an open tomb.
No, because it wasn't open. The reason I'm bringing up the whole story is because Jesus says, open it, and she says, Jesus, I think she said 4 days or something.
Yeah.
She said, there's going to be a terrible... Because you just said how bad it smells. She said, there's going to be a terrible scent, and he was like, open it. And they opened it, and Lazarus was alive.
There he was.
But yeah, that did talk about terrible scent. So... Why would you need to find a dead body? You wouldn't need to find a dead body, but
if there was a dead body,
helps people not hide dead bodies.
It's the power of scent.
And also it helps. People hate vultures. When I say hate, they just think they're gross. What are these called? Birds? Not birds of prey, because their things are dead. What is it called?
Roadkill.
No, the actual bird. They eat dead things. I forget what they're called. But anyway, it helps them find their dinner.
Yeah.
Because if you're flying and then you smell a dead raccoon and, so many miles.
What about, forget all that. It's all good and bad sense. What about the temptation that scent brings? I can't pass Cinnabon without. That's
true.
Without, what's it called? Cheating on my diet.
That's true.
I might be in a happy relationship, but that fine lady's Victoria Victoria's Secret perfume
Yeah.
just makes me lose grip of reality. What about the temptation? And that...
It's like the cartoon when they are floating and they're with their nose.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
Their feet are off.
It's the skunk. He does that.
Oh, yes.
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew.
But that is all for the next podcast of senses.
Oh.
That was just a little preview. That's part of what I want to say.
Oh, wow.
The good and bad of how to teeter on that edge.
Got you.
Teeter on that edge.
Teet, 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 teet.
But yeah, we can talk a little bit about it. Just the temptation that scent can bring because it's so. I think that just goes to the power. Like, we don't talk about temptation, but it just goes to the power of it. It's like a smell can make you want to go somewhere, want to eat something. It changes your mind, and so that's why it's good to kind of program yourself. I think there's a thing I learned. This has nothing to do with scent, but I think the same thing applies. Where I learned it in school while studying for a test, like get a Jolly Rancher, like say a watermelon Jolly Rancher, suck on a Jolly Rancher, and then when you're taking the test, pop in a watermelon Jolly Rancher.
Oh, that sounds, I can see that working.
And it just
takes you right back.
It just triggers the mind to remember the same thing. And so I think, I haven't tried this, so I don't know, but the idea of, lighting incense if you're doing meditation or prayer or whatever you do, whatever you do in your free time, and to have that sort of ritual, but it also brings you back into the same headspace, and you're always there.
Just think, when they make perfume, there's scientific studies of what people will respond to, or like what kind of mood it'll put them in, or everything like that. Proverbs has a line that perfume and incense bring joy to the heart. And it's interesting to me because I was never a perfume person. Like when I was much younger, there would be like fads, or like what was popular, like all the girls wore an A&A and all the boys are wearing Drakkar Noir, but to me, it was always like, I don't know, perfume to me, I just was like perfume. And also the nose blind thing, it's like, well, I don't smell it anymore. And it's like, well, people will smell it, you know? And then like you said, sometimes somebody's perfume is like overpowering and you're just like, I can't, and I never wanted to be that person. Yeah. So I was never like a perfume person.
No, but I made the joke earlier about the young lady, but there is a specific Victoria's Secret perfume that I smell when people are wearing it. And man, I wish I had. I would spray it on myself. Yeah. It smells so good. I'm like, I'm Pepe Le Pew.
Well, that's how the girls are with the Old Spice deodorant.
Yeah, I have.
What is that?
I have an Old Spice deodorant that I swear by. I'm not going to tell you guys because I am. No, but it's
probably the one that everyone loves. Is it red?
Well, they're all red. That's the design of their.
There's one
products.
That's like, everyone loves it.
I don't know, but the one I use, it might be that one. Okay. But I've gotten so many. I don't wear cologne. I've gotten so many compliments like, "What are you wearing?" And I almost don't like to say Old Spice because it's just like, I'm just wearing deodorant. Like it just it sounds kind of weird, but I've gotten so many compliments, and like I'm nose blind to it now. But I will never go back. Yeah. To a different deodorant because I swear by it.
And there's these like these universally agreed upon scents, like, and that's what you see in the air fresheners and the deodorants and the candles. It's like fresh linen or cotton. People, yep, I want that one.
How about just lemon? How many cleaning supplies is lemon?
I was thinking about lemon. How much, like you said, it just triggers like cleanliness. Yeah, clean.
And I think that once again, it's so much of this just control, or I keep messing up this word. Not controlling your brain, programming,
or conditioning.
Yeah, conditioning. That's a C word. Conditioning your brain to so many different things. Right. Of this means that, this means that, and lemon, for sure, is time to clean. Yeah.
So. You are for incense or you're not?
I am. No.
Incense is pretty strong. Like, compared to a candle, it's like,
I don't like incense.
I just said.
I'm for it. I don't personally like it.
Okay.
I am for scent, like I'm for combining spirituality and scents, which I think incense generally are. It's like you don't just usually see incense and it's like, what's that for? And it's like, I just thought burning it. It's usually like then you hear a gong in the background.
Yeah.
And it's like, welcome. It's like I'm in a yoga studio. But so I
remember this Febreze commercial, and they would be in a horrible place. Yeah. Oh, that was so weird.
Febreze and they're sitting like a kid's bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I am for the idea of combining the two. I think senses are so powerful, but you just need to be careful because it teeters on the line of earthly and like, so as much as I love scented candles, if I am using it for a spiritual thing, it's not like, oh, thank you for these candles, which I do say that a lot. I love candles.
Are you familiar with
candles?
And how ironic that that's the podcast that was ruined.
It wasn't meant to be shared, my love for candles.
Yeah.
This probably is going to get ruined too now.
Oh my God. Are you familiar with the Bible story of Esther?
I read it. I mean, I read them all, but is it really short, or am I thinking of?
I don't know. I just know that
Esther.
The king's
It's
wife.
at the very end of the New Old Testament.
I don't know. The king's wife wouldn't get naked and dance around for his friends. So I don't know if he had her kicked out.
Wait, Esther's related to Ruth. Ruth is a really short one, right? Am I right, guys? Ruth, Esther.
Yeah, I don't know.
One's that mother and daughter? I don't know.
It sounds right. It sounds right. But I don't know. But anyway, so this king needed a wife. And so...
needed one bad.
Yeah. Although I think he had a harem, but I don't know. And so they were, it's kind of like, the prince in Cinderella who's looking all over the kingdom for the one princess.
Yeah.
This king is he's not doing the looking, but he's trying to find a replacement for this wife. But anyway... the thing that stood out to me about scent was that to be considered to come into the harem, and then once you're in the harem, you get a chance to try to win his heart. Esther does win his heart. Okay. And she frees her people through this.
Yeah, oh yeah, I do it because she manipulated him. Yeah.
It said she endured the lust of her husband to free the Jewish people.
Esther. Go Esther.
But to be in the harem, you had to be trained for 6 months in...
Is this in the Bible or is this...
It's in the Bible.
Research? Oh, okay.
It's in the Bible. You had to be trained for 6 months in like incense or something, and then another 6 months in perfume. So just for scents, SCENTS, scents alone, you had a year training before you could even be considered, which is strange to me. Like... Because I don't know, like what, but back then it was a pretty sacred talent.
And also, especially if you're trying to woo someone.
I know, but you need 12 months of perfume training for a king.
You never know.
Especially a lustful king.
Scents are powerful.
Well, it worked because she freed.
Yeah, you become an expert.
She freed people.
In any of the scents, and you can manipulate whoever you want.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No sense.
I have no sense.
Yeah. So it was very important. There were even scents in the Bible that were restricted to just the priests,
the Levites.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to. You weren't supposed to. And then, I watch Bob's Burgers. I told you about Bob's Burgers before, and there's a episode which I'm trying to make you watch.
Yeah, one day.
As I shout. There's an episode where ambergris, AMBERGRIS, I think it is. And it's some kind of gross wax substance, but I think it comes from a whale. And
is it what they burn candles out of?
Well, it's whatever it is, like you can make perfume out of it. So it looks gross. I don't know. It's like some sort of, gallstone or something. You could look it up, but it's extremely aromatic to the point that it's very expensive. They're sought after to make perfume out of.
Yeah.
And I learned that from Bob's Burgers.
You never know where you're going to find some information.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently the worse the cheese smell, the better it is.
Oh my God. I can't get into that.
I love cheese.
I love cheese, but not stinky cheese.
That's the thing. It's like I never want to be a cheese connoisseur because it's like, why put myself through learning to love that when it's like, all right, I love a nice sharp cheddar.
Yeah.
It was made in 2018. 2 years aged. I feel like I'm a high roller.
I know.
I don't need this. This was from the Victorian era. It's like, ew.
No, but you know what? You do like salami, and some
salami.
of those, not just salami. What's the other one called? The other kind of meat roll thing. I don't know what it is, but I can't remember right now. But all those sausages that come in like the what's that thing you get at Christmas? The box, Hillshire Farms or something. Some of them are like very pungent.
Yeah, I like some pungent
I don't like
meat.
that.
No, when you're talking salami, give me it from like, I want to know that was unearthed in Pompeii or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then there's the what's the Japanese? It's like a fruit or something. Is it Japanese or Chinese? A fruit. It's like it's the stinkiest fruit.
That's
ever.
One stinky fruit. Ugh, I could not do a stinky fruit. It's like you would think of like fermented.
I think I've even seen it on like these cooking shows, like
it's making me ill just thinking about it.
The name keeps floating in and then floating back out. Okay, how about things that don't really have a smell? I think we kind of talked about it in the beginning, which is like the scent of fear or the scent of
I think that might just be wordplay.
There's not really.
Well, no. Actually, I don't think it is.
You ever smell static? Electricity?
Smell it?
Yeah. I've smelt it.
I don't think you have.
I have.
I don't try to Emperor's New Clothes me on this.
I have.
I smelled
If you have, write it down below.
No. I think there is. I mean, there's definitely. More than I think there is. What pheromones? Is that a real thing or is that a misogynistic
No, that's
thing?
real. That's real.
Yeah, like where you can.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you see it in animals, but especially you all see it in humans, where there's these things that are released that. So obviously there is a real scent attributed to it, but you don't even know what you're smelling sometimes. Like you don't know what is pulling you to something.
When you have a newborn baby,
ew, don't talk about the smell of newborn babies.
Why not?
It sounds gross.
Not when they first come out, but a smell of a baby is the best thing in the whole entire world.
It's because it's clean.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say the mom smell for the baby. Like they tell you, like if you have to go
sniff
somewhere,
it out anywhere.
Yeah, if you have to go somewhere,
where are you, Charlie?
give the babysitter like one of your shirts or something that hasn't been washed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's powerful.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the scent podcast, or not the scent. Where am I? I'm excited.
When do we start?
Should we just run through the senses? Not now. I'm saying, and then do a senses podcast.
Sure.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's power to it. I think it's good to combine the two. Spirituality, that is. With any of the senses, but scent especially. Anything that you can combine earthly enjoyment and peace with and channel it. It's all about like when you watch Avatar: Last Airbender?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in like 2 days. No, I haven't watched it in a while. But the firebenders, when they learn how to, I'm sounding so nerdy right now.
No, you're not.
When they're the firebenders learn how to do lightning, and the way they do it is they channel the lightning from up here, and then it goes through them, and then they channel it out.
Come on, you've got to feel the flow.
And I think that's with candles and stuff. It should be that. It should be like
coming out of your nose, like power.
Yeah, no, because it's going the opposite. It's use those feelings and that peace you get from that, but don't leave it in here. You don't want to just be earthly with your senses, and then pull the curtains. Is that close the curtain? Curtains close.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it on this?
I guess.
The sense of scent.
The scent of spirituality.
The scent of... I smell something
spiritual in here.
Yeah, it smells... and staticky.
I can smell static. People say they can smell rain. I can smell snow.
Yeah, I can smell rain. Are you just trying to win the...
Can you smell snow?
Yeah, I can smell it. All right. I can smell before it rains. You know that smell? Right before it rains?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I thought you meant actual rain.
I thought smelling before it rains is because you're smelling it from far away.
Is that it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
This man told me, this man was a dentist, actually.
I want to be a dentist.
And he said, after it rains, the smell you're smelling is the ozone, which people think ozone is something different. But ozone, when it rains, it literally does clean the air. And so that's what you're smelling is ozone, because it has just come through and purified the air.
All right, guys. It's been real. We'll be back tomorrow with a super special podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel at Croak and Crow. And yeah, go out and smell the roses.
Sniff around.
Keep sniffing. and try that thing and get back to me. Start using well, first, if you're studying, kids are back in school.
I know.
Jolly Rancher before, Jolly Rancher after. But try it with incense and see if it brings you to a spiritual place.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might. Peace.
What is happening?